Hey, African American Lit. I hope you all had a great holiday break and it's Wednesday. So we're going to get started with our week 5 materials. All right, so as always, we're starting with our Google Doc that has all of our information on what you should be working on in this short week that we have. So this week, we are starting our novel, The Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler, who is absolutely one of my favorite authors. She is primarily a science fiction and a fantasy author. This book here, though, is really just apocalyptic in nature. I read it the first time years before COVID, but after living through COVID, it took on even more interesting significance in my perception. It will be interesting to see what you think of it. Ideally, you should have read the entire book, the whole book, by July 18th. So that gives you about a week and a half, a little bit longer maybe, and hopefully you've already started. But if not, that's the primary thing that I would concentrate on. Beyond that, we have 2 videos to watch this week. They are both literature criticism videos to help us as we begin our second major assignment. There are a couple of things that I want you to do in secondary materials. The last one, Nicki Minaj's Feminism Isn't About Your Comfort Zone, is one of my favorite articles. And I really think that it helps you to uniquely see how the African American woman can be placed in feminist content. So I highly suggest that one if you have time. And then our major assignment. So the first, your multimodal presentation is due this coming Monday. So a couple of days left to finish that if you haven't. I know most of you have. And then the second thing is our second major assignment. I just want you to read over the assignment. It's not due Monday. So go ahead and click on that link when you pull it up. And it'll explain to you that you're writing an essay this time and that you're going to have to choose to apply one of those literature criticisms. So it gives you a list of them here. We've had videos on all of the ones that are listed here. So you're going to choose which one you want to talk about and then choose any 2 readings that we were assigned this semester, whether it's a primary or a secondary assignment, whether it's a lyric or a poem or an article, any of those things. And then you're going to apply that criticism to both of those items. And then the last thing, of course, is just our discussion for this week. So for this week's discussion, I want you to think about all the things that we've read in the class so far. We have 2 questions to choose from. The first is, what are the benefits and drawbacks of respectability politics? So coming through all of the things that we read in our historic period, in our civil rights period, and then thinking about the more modern things that we're reading now, is there a way that we think we should go about advocating for civil rights, equality, or reform is our second question. You can answer either one that you want. And then in your reply, I'm asking that you reply to one of your classmates that have a different opinion than you. It might be a little different. It might be a lot different. We'll see what happens. That's it. So again, this is a bit of a short week because we're starting on Wednesday due to the holiday. Everything is still due on Monday. And as always, if you have any questions or concerns, you can always send me an email and I'll get back to you as fast as possible. We don't have drop-in conferences this week, but we'll start up again with them in week 6. Y'all have a blessed day.